Welcome once again to another episode of Everything Naija Football Show, where we talk about the trending and latest stories. We check out what is going on in the world of sport right here in Ekiti. We'll talk about Nigerian football and also across Africa. Most of the time, we'll cross the Atlantic. We check out how Nigerian players are faring at their respective clubs. We understand that the season now has crescendoed, and we'll talk about Nigerian players on the move in the transfer market today. NPFL, we crescendo later this weekend as Enugu Rangers have been crowned champions already. Remo Star Sports Club looking to end the season on a very high note, playing their last game at home. Also, Shooting Stars will be hoping to get the maximum 3 points again at their home ground when they face Sporting Lagos in the bid to pick up also continental tickets. But Tiwanda is back here. He joins me as we together will expand the conversation this very afternoon. Tiwanda, how are you doing today? It's good to have you back here.
It's good to be back here in the studio today to talk more on sport, and it's a lovely afternoon, and a big congratulations to Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu and Enugu Rangers. It's not easy because it's just a gradual, it's a gradual process. And another thing I want him to understand is they shouldn't just focus on winning the title alone. They still have more to do for next season. They have Continental, and they have to contest for the league again next season. So for this, I say congratulations and best of luck next season.
It's kind of funny that you are congratulating Fidelis Ilechukwu. You know, at some point in this program, I did tell you if Remo Stars didn't win the league, I'm actually coming for you. I'm actually going to drag you. But we'll get to that though. Let us begin from the Nigerian National League team that did promoted to the Nigerian Premier Football League. We're talking Beyond Limit, Ikorodu United, also Nasarawa United and El Kanemi Warriors. Let us start off from the Northern Conference, where Nasarawa United and El Kanemi Warriors did gain promotion from that end. We understand that just last season they were demoted and coming back almost immediately into the Nigerian Premier Football League. Tiwanda, talk to us about the mentality and how these two teams have fared over the games that they've played in the Nigerian National League.
It's a good run for Nasarawa United because it's you trying to go into the second division and coming back the season after is a good news for me and for them as well. But one thing I want to ask them is, are they ready to compete again at the NPFL? Because this is another thing coming from NLL and entering to the professional league and not being able to hold your feet down. If we need to ask them if they are actually ready to compete for next season. But it's a good one, and Economy Warriors as well. It's good to have them at the NPFL, and it's going to be a tight season next season. I'm very, very sure about that. And are they all ready?
That's a big question. We cannot wait to find out when the season starts properly. Now, we'll talk about the Southern Conference now, where Beyond Limits, the feeders team of Remo Star Sports Club of Ikene, are gaining promotion, as well as Ikorodu United FC of Lagos, who are two-time FA Cup champions of Lagos. These two teams, when you give it to them, they are tactically and technically sound when they play football. You as a football lover, we love it. Now, talk us through Beyond Limit, a private team gaining promotion. Talking about Ikorodu City as well, a private team gaining promotion into the Nigerian Premier Football League. Now we see more of private teams integrating into the Nigerian Professional Football Leagues. Let me ask from your own perspective, what does this mean for these government clubs? You see that lots of investments have been done in these private teams, and when you see them play, they sign the best players, they hire the best coaches. Now, if care is not taken, we'll get to see more of private teams integrating into the Nigerian Premier League. I beg your pardon. And now, talk us through. What do you think this would mean for teams who are sponsored by governments in the Nigerian Premier Football League?
Okay. One thing I've noticed in few months is the private owners tend to invest more on football because they actually understand what the word football means to them. They know the business part. Football is different from the pitch play. We have the business part of football, so I guess they really understand what the business part means to football. So they have actually tried to invest more so that they can actually get something. If you notice, Beyond Limit has had more sales of players in recent months or probably years now.
Yeah.
You've always seen most of their players going outside the country to play to represent the image of the club. So it's going to be let me say it's going to be a very big challenge for government-owned team, because these people are ready to chase down all government-owned teams due to the fact that this government-owned team lacks management. If you notice, most of government-owned team, they're always having one issue with salaries, allowances, and stuff like that. I think during the week I heard the news of Doma United players refusing to play. They said they're not going to train for their next match because they have held like I think 2 months match bonuses or so, and it's like that for government-owned team. It's always issue of payment. So I think they need to just work more on their management and the way they handle their players. Why will a good player stay 5-6 years in the particular NPFL side? Why not market him out of the club? Why not look for a club outside? Marketing him out of the club gives an advantage to you as well, because on every payment you have a particular bonus on it. So you need to just look for a way to like scout out your players and actually give them more edge. That's what I see most private clubs are doing now. Even Ikorodu United, most of them are looking for partners outside Nigeria, and they are actually doing fine. It's a good one for Ikorodu United as well. You know, let me say the owner of Beyond Limit has been a great shaker when it comes to football business in Nigeria. He has brought different technology, different facilities into football in Nigeria, and it's really helping the club. If you look at both the senior team and actually the feeders part of the team, they are actually doing pretty fine. If you go to their facility, you see how beautiful it is. So they've actually invested more in the team. So what I would just say is, all government owned teams should try and invest more when it comes to football in their club sites.
Speaking of investing more, it should be a wake-up call to all government-owned teams, because as it stands, you're talking Aqua United, they also stand a chance of going down if they fail to win their last match day. And even if they win, some other teams ahead of them, should in case they get the best result, we might see certain Aqua United and some other government-owned teams going down. Speaking of Doma United, who has to be one of the private teams in the Nigerian Premier Football League, it's sad to see them where they are right now, because with the look of things, it seems they are going down. They lost to Sunshine Stars in the midweek on Wednesday, and now their hope of going away from home, many will say that they cannot get the maximum point away from their home. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. Away from the NNL promotion teams, now we'll talk about the FA Cup that we saw actions yesterday took center stage in 2 different centers in Abuja. Kano Pillars, at a point in time, I had my hopes very high for Kano Pillars. I thinking they will be the 4th team to represent Nigeria at the continental stage, but they were hedged out yesterday by Abia Warriors, and now he's left with 2 more teams in that particular one. Abia Warriors will be in the final to face the certain Kanemi Warriors. Whoever win picks up the last ticket to represent Nigeria at the CAF Confederations Cup. Now talk us through all through, we've seen lots of teams participate in this particular tourney. We're talking about the President Federation Cup, and now look at just 2 teams left in the final now. Abia Warriors, Kanemi Warriors. Who could have thought? Who do you think takes this one?
You know, one thing is the best team should take it, because but then is giving it to the best team. Are they ready? Are they fully prepared? Do they have the required the required facility, the required experience to participate at the Continental? That is another question, because if you notice the recent years now, we've been having issues with Continentals. We've not been really doing pretty fine. You know, other African teams see us as just a joker when it comes to Continental. They see it as you're playing against a Nigerian football club. It's a bonus. So I think every club going for any Continental game should actually make themselves prepared, get enough strength, get enough tactics to actually face any African team, or anyone who wins. What I want to just tell them is they should actually be prepared, because without a good preparation, then there's nothing they're going there to do.
For me, I think Abia Warriors and the certain Kanemi Warriors knows what is at stake, and picking up a final of that President Federation Cup will mean that one of them gets to play at the CAF Confederations Cup playoff. Quickly take you back to last season when Bendel Insurance won the ITO Cup at the expense of Enugu Rangers, and they went on to defeat Aso Clef in the first preliminary round, but only to edged out by RS Berkane of Morocco, who are also defending the final. See what they can do next season when the qualifying phase kick off. Away from that, now we'll talk about MPFL matches that will be upon us later this weekend, and also what we saw in the last weekend. Also, we saw a certain Enugu Rangers being crowned champions. Fidelis Ilechukwu, who has been twice runner-up with MFM and also Plateau United in the previous seasons, and now he has finally got that opportunity to put his hands on that gold, on that trophy, on the prize. And now I personally am happy for him. Tactically, technically, he has been very good this season, and not to talk of how his boys have been so disciplined and determined to get that particular trophy. Now, do you want to talk us through Remo Stars just in there to pick up 3 points away from home to keep their title chase intact with Enugu Rangers, but they lost to Sunshine Stars by 2-1. It was quite an entertaining game. How was their life? Now, talk us through that particular one. Do you feel like Remo Stars should have done better? And talk us through Enugu Rangers crowned MPFL champions, even with a game to go, with Fidelis Ilechukwu doing his magic yet again.
Let me say this. Against the last match against Sunshine Stars at the Akure Township Stadium, I don't know. Like I used to say something. I said, I guess there's a little bit difference in every team's strength at home and strength away from home. And I've noticed that with Remo Stars, if you notice that their rate of win from home, I'm not sure if it's up to 70% rate win away from home. It's always been a shaky one for them. So I think they need to work more next season. But what I know is the last match is against Katsina United, if I'm not wrong. So they will actually put up something against Katsina United, but still it's because it's their home. So I know it's 3 points for them, and I'm very sure they will hold on to that second position. And Enugu Rangers, one match to go, crown champion, is a good one for Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu, because he has the experience. I think I once said he's one of the best coaches we have when it comes to MPFL. He has gathered all the experience. Daniel Gumede, they all have these coaches have experiences when it comes to MPFL. They know what it takes to be a grassroots coach. If they don't just become an MPFL coach, but they started from the grassroots, so they understand what it means. So it's a good one for him. Congratulations to him. And I said this is not the end of the road for them, because they still have to compete at the Continental. Just says they should just prepare ahead for an uneasy task, because it's not easy. So I wish them all the best, and congratulations to them once again.
All right. Fidelis Ilechukwu, from our end right here, we're saying a big congratulations to you for winning the MPFL title with Rangers, and that takes record of Rangers to 8-time winners of Nigerian Premier Football League. They're one of the strongholds when you talk about Nigerian Premier Football League. Enyimba, when you pick Enyimba, you pick Enugu Rangers next. Also, Kano Pillars can come to the picture, and some other teams who has won the MPFL League for quite some time now. Away from that, we'll talk about Shooting Stars FC of Ibadan. They had to just pick up that vital 3 points away at the Samson Siasia Yenagoa Stadium in Bayelsa. They scored first. Even after they were reduced to 10 men, they scored, and then they were unable to hold on to that particular win. Bayelsa United struck twice, once and two, and they ended 2-1. Talk us through. Will you say it's a little bit of you not playing at home, or the red card had a negative effect on the team, and should they have shown more attitude to hold on to that particular win, knowing fully well that should they have won that game, they will be second on the log as we speak? But now it is what it is. The last match is against Sporting Lagos. Talk us through, what are your expectations? Last match they failed to get the 3 points, and going forward, if they win their last match and a certain Enyimba also wins and the Remo Stars also win, that means Shooting Stars, despite all their struggle and fight this season, they wouldn't be competing at the CAF Continental stage. Now talk us through what you're expecting later this weekend against Sporting Lagos, and also their previous match to wonder.
One thing about football is reducing an 11 set of players to 10 men is a difficult task, because one, as a coach, you need to change your tactics. You need to try to look for someone as a replacement, and you're short of men, and you just have to put up something. Magics are not being done on the pitch, so it's forced on someone as well. So it's a good fight for them. Though I think my own thought is they would have tried to hold the Bayelsa United to a 1-1 draw and just try to keep it like that. But they tried their best. It's not easy. to a 10-man players, 10-man team playing against an 11-man team. But if you look at them in recent weeks, they've already had a good fight.
Yeah.
And it's a good one for Ogunbote. They've really did something. It was just like a magic. I think I once said it, like they are one of the people that we just saw, as it was just like the win. If you check the last past 5 matches, they've not had a loss. So it's just a loss in 5 matches. So they've really tried and struggled. If they actually stop at they finish the table at the 4th position, they've tried because they've had a good fight from the beginning. Even not even from the beginning, I think from the second half of the league, they started having that fight from the second half of the league, and they've struggled enough. It's not easy because you also have you have other teams who are also struggling to actually hold on to their spot. Yeah. Like I said, if any team is going to lose, they are dropping a point. If they had actually had a draw against Bayelsa United, then you know at their last match they just need to go there, probably just win their last match. But now they actually lost 3 points, but it's still a good one for them. They are better than teams who couldn't meet up with the first 5 of the team and of the league rather. So let's see what happens in the last match. But to me, I just say it's a good one for Shooting Star. And the last match against Sporting Lagos. One thing about Sporting Lagos is from the beginning of season they were not predictable, but at some point they became predictable. That you can actually tell, okay, Sporting Lagos might not win this match, probably due to one thing or the other, and they've had internal problems in recent times, sacking their coach, and since then they've not been really. If you check them, they've not been stable since then. Yeah. There was a match they lost at home, so. And it's really not good. They are not in a good shape at the moment. But I won't write them off against Shooting Star. If I think they are coming to Ibadan.
Yeah,
Adama Sigba. That Adama Sigba to me is just like going to the Etihad to go and win a match. I will probably Bernabeu. You will be very surprised that it's going to be very difficult because the level, I've been there before. I can say the level of crowd in that place, those people they are always supporting their people. So I wish Sporting Lagos best of luck, but I'll be very
what that will mean to Sporting Lagos currently as we speak, they're in the relegation waters. If they lose that last match to Shooting Stars, they're going back to the NNL. Quite sad. And for a team who holds lots of prospects, having coming from the NNL and also fighting a good fight in the Super 8, winning that particular Super 8 that was held at the preseason last season. Looking at them, it would be a sad one. Now, do you think it was wise to sack the previous coach, John Offor? Adimbi was still there. Are we going to see Sporting Lagos in that particular position where they are today, or we may see them a little bit higher and not in the drop zone?
Till now, let me just say this: till now, they've not been a concrete news on what really transpired between the team and the head coach. We can't say because they had a poor run. It's not easy. They are just coming in to the league for the first time, and they need to have a proper knowledge of what the league is all about. So I won't say because it was the sacking of the coach that actually caused this, but I guess if Sporting Lagos relegates, they already have a knowledge of what MPFL is all about. They only need to go back to the NLL to go and prepare more. I always say they didn't prepare before coming into the MPFL. MPFL, we have the likes of Enyimba, we have the likes of Enugu Rangers, who has look at this season. The most shocking part of this season is Aqua United. Look at where they are. They're at the 16th position at the moment. So, and they are also likely to relegate. So you coming in and saying you coming in for the first time and you have a team who has been there years after years, and still battling to struggle, trying to escape the relegation zone. It's not easy. So what I would just say is, if eventually they relegate rather, they need to go back home, go back to the drawing board. Now give the new coach a time frame. You don't just come up one morning and sack a coach. It's not easy that way because you don't just come into the league and think you just win the league. Okay, for example, look at what happened at the EPL this season. the likes of Burnley, Luton. They came the way the last three they came last season. The three of them came last season, and now the three of them are back to them. So that shows you that they were not ready. They were only happy because they left the division, the second division. They were not actually ready for the main league itself. So what I would just say is, relegation is not the end of the world. It's just a preparation. What do we think will happen next season? Even the ones we are happy that are coming in now, what if all of them returns back next season? So all we just need to do is they should just go back home, sit down, go back to the drawing board, check what the problem is, give the coach enough time. I won't lie to you, they didn't give the sacked coach enough time to prove himself, because it's not easy. You don't just come in and think someone who brought you, who even won, I think he won the Super 8 against Red Monster last season. Yeah. So it's a good one for them. They should have just allowed him prove himself. Even if later they should just give him enough time to settle into the team, settle with the players, and push them back to the MPFL.
But speaking of readiness in terms of Sporting Lagos now, they signed quite a lot of decent players. Junior Lokosa joining, I think with an amount of over £1 million to be paid, and you know how much these players get. They signed Godwin Odibo, a certain Naibe Akwesiri that plays for Rivers United, who also joined the team, and some other decent names now. You wouldn't say that these players are not good enough. We've seen them play, even not with Sporting Lagos, but with a different club entirely. Julian Lokosa is a proven striker. At a point in time, he left the shores of Nigeria to play outside. He came back, he played with Kwara United. He was fantastic. They had these decent players at their disposal. Speaking of readiness, don't you think I saw them, being ready enough to take up any challenge, but it is what it is now. I'm not happy that they might probably go down, but I don't think readiness should be an excuse for Sporting Lagos at this point.
True.
But it guarantees you a point of staying in the league.
Look at the likes of Chelsea of MPFL. Look at of EPL. Look at the amount they spent at the summer to sign lots of players. They actually signed almost a whole team.
They have something to show for it. They will play at the Europa Conference.
That is not enough for a team that signed a whole first 11.
It's a work in progress.
The thing is, you don't just there's a spirit for a new team. There's always a different mentality. Enugu Rangers has been there. He knows what it takes. Red Monster played last season. He knows what it takes.
But not intend to cut you short, but if you want to talk about Enugu Rangers, they were on the brink of relegation last season.
Now look at them now. They actually won the league this season. So if they have sacked or they've lost 2 or 3 players, they wouldn't have gotten there. But the thing is, what I want Sporting Lagos to do is, what I'm very sure is they are relegated.
So sad.
Because let's be factual. Adama Sigba is a San Siro, is an Etihad. You can't just go there. Picking a point there is not certain. Not to talk of picking a 3 points. So they are relegating. We've accepted the fact. But what I want them to do is go back home, go back to the drawing board. They will lose a lot of players. That's certain. Likes of Junior Lokosa might leave, because I think in his contract he has an opportunity to go to a club in Portugal. It was signed in his contract. Maybe I remember the name of the club in Portugal, part of his contract. So it's possible he goes to Portugal, and some other players like that who join this season might be fortunate because they won't want to play at the NLL. Yeah. So now they have another problem entirely, because they have to lose more players and they have to go back down. Now bringing more players, try to reshuffle. It's a very big task for the coach, the new coach. So that's why I said they shouldn't have even sacked the previous coach. It's not his fault. It's not easy. Let's be factual. Though he's been paid, it's not an excuse. Okay. But MPFL, we see it as if it's easy. It's not. It's more like a Serie A league, whereby you can't just determine. You'll be surprised. This is the match you thought a home team will win, and you just see a relegating team beating the home team. Yeah. So it's always difficult to predict sometimes. So what I'm saying is, Sporting Lagos, go back home, go back to the drawing board, and try and look for something to do. Try and put up a new tactics, try and put up a new design. Let's see what can happen. The fans should actually try and support them at this, because it's a difficult time for them, and the club owner as well, because the private team is not a good one for him, because he's actually investing in the team. He wants a good result from the team. That's why the coach was sacked, because the private owner. But still they need to give everyone in the team, the management board, enough time to prove themselves. That's my take.
Now, Tiwanda says, to be realistic, Sporting Lagos will definitely go down. And now, what matters more now is, can they come back almost immediately? Looking at set of teams that are in the Nigerian National League who are also hungry to come to the Nigerian Premier Football League. That is what Sporting Lagos management should worry about. Now, away from Sporting Lagos, talk about another team who might also go down, although they are playing their last match today in front of their home crowd. We're talking the next of champions based team, Akwa United, who lost to Abia Warriors neighbors over the weekend, 2-0 handed. At the start of the season, they appointed a certain Fatai Oshobo, who left after a couple of games. They brought in a new coach, and fortune changed for them at a point, but then the coach was replaced again, and now look at where they are with the bulk of talents that they have at their disposal. You're talking Ubon Friday, Salomon Chigozem, Ubon Gesen, Sani Suleiman, who has proven himself to be quite a signing for them in the winter transfer. But look at where they are now. The last home game, there will be massive turn up for them at the next of champions. But do you see them beating relegation waters, Steve Wonder?
Oh, it saddens my heart to see Akwa United at the 16th point of the 16th on the table. I think they won the league, was it 2 seasons ago? 2021 they won the league, and it's brought a good fortune. They brought a new picture to the team, and since then I think they've been struggling. I think last season they didn't play the Super 6 as well.
They didn't play the Super 6. They missed out with just a point, but the Super 8 they were there. Well, but they were hedged out in the semi-final.
The issue started when they had to let go of Coach Ayeni. Yeah. They've actually been struggling since he left the club. What I just think is wrong with the club at the moment, I think state-owned clubs needs to at least give their coaches enough time to prove themselves. There are no magics anywhere. They only needed time. So sometimes, when you're being patient enough, you get out of patience. You need to just look for something else to do. So, but they just need to give them enough time to prove themselves. So what I just see is, I'm not sure of them relegating, because they have 46 points. Sporting Lagos has 46 points, and they're playing at home in their last match. Yeah. Though they've not really proven themselves at home this season, they've always been shaky. But let's see what happens. I'm not sure they can relegate. They are just sitting on the table, and Bayelsa United is 47th on the log. 15th on the table with 47 points. So just a point ahead of them. So what I just think is they can win the last match. They will be 49. We can't say Bayelsa United will lose in the last one, because he also is trying to leave that particular spot of the table. But what I know is Akwa United might not relegate. Might not regulate. That's I think I should. Let's be optimistic that they might not relegate.
All right, now that is the latest story as regarding who will beat the drop at this season. Now we'll still take a look at the table and see the chances of teams who might drop. But before we do that, let's talk about the match that did go down at the Pantami Stadium in the midweek, where we saw Sunshine Stars beating Doma FC at home. 1-0 handed. Sunshine Stars coming from that quite decent form from Remo Stars after beating Remo Stars 2-1. They left Korea, played in Gombe, and it was a 1-0 victory. It was the animal striker Ibrahim Yusuf who scored that important goal for Sunshine Stars, and it's safe now to say that Sunshine Stars will stay in the league and they will play in the Nigerian Premier Football League next season. Talk us through Kennedy Boboye, since he moved to Sunshine Stars at the winter break. Fortunes have changed for Sunshine Stars. They didn't really start the season very strongly, although they had quite some wins at home at the start of the season too, the first part of the season. But look at when Kennedy Boboye came on board, they've picked 5-star points when it matters more. This is a good mentality of a good coach who has once won the league with Akwa United. Do you see Kennedy Boboye as a blessing to Sunshine Stars? And when he was asked against Remo Stars, what does the future holds for you, Kennedy Boboye? Are you staying back in Sunshine? He said for now he doesn't know. But look at what he has been able to do with this team this season. Are you surprised to see Sunshine Stars putting up that kind of a form this season?
One thing is, when you have the best ends in place, we tend to like, it feels like you're performing magic. At the beginning of the season, I almost actually had Sunshine Stars relegating. They were actually struggling. At some point, I think they were 16th on the log. At some point, they were just not stable. But it's a good one for Coach Kennedy because he has really done the best he can for Sunshine Stars, bringing them from down the table to 10th. They are now 10th on the log. He has really done fantastically well for them. And the one thing is, Sunshine Stars need to make sure he's staying back, because when anything that makes him leave the club, a new coach coming in changes the tactics. They will lose more players, and actually they will have to replace those ones. And now starting from the beginning again, he doesn't have the numbers of players that was used, and another mentality will be stuck into the players again. This is what you do, this is what you don't do. While they had another one last season. So what I would just say is Sunshine Stars should actually try and retain Coach Kennedy. He has done well. He has always proven himself. I guess when he spent few days with him at Atlanta FC, yeah, he did something as well. I think he won about 2 or 3 of his matches before he left. So he should be given more chance, more time at Sunshine Stars. A good run for him, and I'm really happy to see Sunshine Stars at the 10th of the table.
Now, Tiwana, let's take a close look at the table now and know who joins Gombe United. Atlant FC of Owerri, one of the teams who will be going to the NNL next season. We'll take a critical look at, let's say, from 16 downwards. Some teams are playing away from home, some will play at home. What are the chances of those teams that are in the relegation waters, and who do you think will drop down to face to join a certain talking Gombe United, who was already confirmed relegated, and also an Atlant FC of Owerri?
Now let me start from Doma United. They've really not performed well in the last two matches. They have actually lost. They have actually lost that last 2 matches. The last match, the match before they played Sunshine Stars. That is against Castina United, lost 2-0 away from home. Now coming back home against Sunshine, they lost 1-0 again. Their last match is against Abia Warriors. So, and this is a no match for them. Either win or draw for them, they still add 46 points. Now they have 43 points. If they win, they have 46 points. So, and ahead of them has 46 already. That is Sporting Lagos has 46 already. So it's a very tight one. Even if they win, they are still relegated. Because if you look at it, we have 46, 43, 46. When they win, they have 46. Doma United, that is, if eventually wins, it might escape that relegation zone. But 46, we have 46, 46, 43, 46, 47. So we have Aqua United, Sporting Lagos, and Doma United. So automatically, let's be factual, Doma is going to relegate this season. Okay. Because I'm not seeing them, even if they win the match, I'm not seeing them escaping that relegation.
They're even going to play away from home.
They are playing home from home. They are home.
Okay, they're playing at home.
They are playing at home to Abia Warriors.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a tight call for them. Though they might win, but they have 46 points already. Now the topping team that is Sporting Lagos has 46 points. I guess the only thing that can actually bring them out of that place is maybe a goal difference, and they are not even having enough goal difference. They have, I think, they have 25 goal difference to 39. So it's a very difficult one for them. So I think the likes of Sporting Lagos, Doma United, that is if Aqua United didn't bring up a late drama of losing their last match. Okay. That's just it. If Aqua United loses their last match and Doma United goes to Adamasika to perform miracles, yeah, so be it. That means we have likes of Aqua United, Doma, Atlant, and Gombe. But if that is not happening, then we have Sporting Lagos, Doma United, Atlant, and Gombe United.
From the look of things now, it's looking like certain Doma United might head back to the NNL, and also with the look of things, Sporting Lagos, should they fail to win at Adamasingba on Sunday, they will also join Gombe United and
but we are not even writing off Bayelsa United as well because they have 47 points.
They're also going.
They are also going away for, and it's a very tight one. If okay, let's do it this way. If they lose, Aqua United wins. Aqua United has 46 points already.
That takes them to 49.
49. If Bayelsa United loses, it remains at 47. It comes down. If Sporting Lagos wins, 49 brings him down. So it's also not safe.
Bayelsa United is also at the risk of dropping. But lots of drama. He promises last match day, wherever you are in Nigeria, do well to at least watch one of the matches wherever is it you are and see what the action that we've actually been preaching right here for you to always keep very close tabs on the Nigerian Premier Football League, be it in Ibadan, be it in Akure, or wherever is it you are. Try as much as possible to get to a stadium and watch one of the final matches that will be upon us later this weekend. We'll leave Nigerian Premier Football League now. We'll talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the national team. Couple of days, or let me say a week ago, we saw lots of controversial discussion and conversation between Finidi George, I beg your pardon, and Victor Osimhen. And after that, NFF seeing Finidi George losing his first two competitive matches, losing one and draw one. He played 1-1 draw with South Africa in New and lost to Benin Republic 2-1. Former Nigerian coach being the chief coach there, talking about General Nigeria about to 1-2 loss to Benin Republic. And after that, NFF decided to bring up a technique under the controversial talks between Finidi George and Osimhen, which was later pinpointed to the fact that it was just a sports writer who caused the whole of this drama. But we're not here to talk about what transpired between the Super Eagles coach, former coach, talking about Finidi George, and one of the players, Victor Osimhen. But what we think is next for the Super Eagles of Nigeria now, we need to be at the World Cup 2026 that will be hosted by 3 nations. We're talking Canada, United States of America, and Mexico. And now, with the look of things from 4 games, Nigeria currently have 3 points, which is very, very bad. Should we stand a chance, we need to win almost, if not all, of the remaining matches. At this point in time now, who do you think comes in for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Who is that best coach that we should consider and that will hit the ground running almost immediately and give us the results we want?
I think they should actually give Finidi more time, because you can't just judge a coach with 2 matches. That's my take. Though one thing is, I'm not condemning him, but he did 1 or 2 mistakes as a coach. You need to safeguard yourselves from the media. That's why I saw that had issues that made Finidi had issues with the Super Eagles. He actually exposed himself very early to the media. There are some questions you don't just answer at the media space. You have to skip them. You don't have choice. You need to just look for a way to just write those questions off without giving answers to them. So they should have, my own perspective is, they should have given him enough time. When Jose Pasero came, I think his first 2 matches he almost had the same result as Finidi did. So we should have just given him more time, or probably instead of giving him the head coach, they should have given him an assistant and bringing him someone like Emmanuel Amunike. Yeah. So, but all well and good for them. We are where we are now today. We just need a solution to what has happened. So now, what I just think is, they should just bring in an experienced coach. I saw a news of them going back to Portugal again to pick another coach. I don't know if Nigeria has a written contract with Portugal when it comes to coaching. The last coach, Jose Pasero, was I think from Portugal, I guess.
Yes.
Referred by Jose Mourinho to.
That was what we heard. We don't know how true it is.
So he said Jose Mourinho referred him to Nigeria, that he's a good person, his friend, and fine, he did his best. Let's be factual with that. He did his best. If not for all of the 2 things that happened, he should have won the African Cup of Nations. But still, what I think is, let's give our indigenous coaches chances. The only problem I saw with former coach of Super Eagles, Coach Finidi George, was he should have minimized himself from the media. He should have just kept himself off from the media, or probably reduce. Just skip some questions. You don't need to answer our questions from the media.
But let's keep the aspect of the media. Technically, tactically, do you think Finidi is sound now? Now let us look at the players he called up to the squad. You see them at their various clubs that they were very good and fantastic, but you couldn't get the best out of them due to selection. I would say poor selection and maybe a tactical approach in the matches. The performance we saw against South Africa was a lot better than that of Benin Republic. How do you explain losing to Benin Republic at the expense of picking up a World Cup ticket? That is very sad. Do you think a certain Finidi is good enough for the job at first? Before we even talk about what NFF decided to settle with, they have the money. Why pick a certain Finidi? You can pay less. Why not pay more and get results? But we'll get to that. But let's talk about how good Finidi is at the point to even pick up that job at first.
I think he was given the job basically because he actually worked with the last head coach, and he has actually been with the team. He knows who is who. One thing is, as the head coach and an assistant is a difference. When you are an assistant, you have more access to the players, because when the head coach is in his room trying to build up statistics, trying to think, brainstorm and see what happens on the pitch, you are there on the pitch with the players. Getting one or if you look at more of the pictures you see Finidi the job, you see him with the players. That's why he was given the job. And tactically, I think he had one or two issues. Tactically, there are some things he should have done, even in the first game against South Africa. As I said, he should have escaped some questions, because there was a question asked by the media immediately after the South African game, and he made a statement. And since then, we Nigerians, we don't give room for long change. We want the change to happen immediately.
Yeah.
So what I think Finidi should have done was try to sit it back, study those players. He really invited players. I think he didn't study most of them. And let's be factual, right from time, we find it hard seeing our players who performs at their club side performing back at home. Let's be sincere about that. There's always a difference. When you expect them to bring out the form at their club side back home, you always find it very difficult to say. Most of them, you will not even see them on the pitch at all throughout the match. They won't. You might be surprised to see a player who has 37 goals at his club side find it difficult to score just an opponent at the countryside. So we've actually had that in previous years. But what I think he should have done is just allowed the best leg play. And sometimes fans determine. Sometimes you don't have any choice than to just, okay, let me just satisfy the fans. But sometimes as a coach as well, you think, okay, let me use my tactics. If it's not working, then you need to improvise. So the match against Benin Republic, it was a sad one for us, losing to Benin Republic at the expense of a World Cup ticket is a really bad one for us, a very sad one at that. So and if you notice that match, at the point he had to now change his formation, but it was late because we are already 2 goals down. He had to bring in Victor Boniface, bring in some players, bring in some new legs, and actually changing the formation at the back, returning the likes of Kevin Bassi to the left side and bringing in Sadiq, the man from Remo Star. He tried at the second half of the world. It was not what everybody wanted any longer. So what I thought is he should have just sat down, not trying to gamble wings. I think that was what happened against South Africa. He did the same against against Benin Republic. He did the same against South Africa. He can't put some positions. So he should have. And sometimes when you see some players are tired, sometimes you just need to just bring them up off the pitch, put up someone who hasn't played. So one thing I believe is we should have given him probably enough time, and I think they shouldn't have used him, appointed him at the edge of the qualifiers. Maybe probably looked for a friendly match before.
But he did play 2 friendly matches.
It was as an acting coach. He wasn't even sure of the job then. And these players he invited were not the players he invited then. Most of them were not there, so he didn't. I'm not sure if he actually had enough time. And another thing that affected him was most of the players he was supposed to call. We had injuries. Lots of Olai, lots of Victor Osimhen, who again was. I think we have was Frank Onyeka. I think was.
Frank Onyeka was in the camp. He didn't play him at all in the 2 games.
He was not fit. If you look, Frank in the last 2 matches against Brentford, I think he was struggling. So I think that was why he had to put him on the bench and leave him there. He doesn't want to risk him. But still, he should have brought up a good tactics. Probably copy one of Pacero's last tactics. Probably the players can work, but we should have given him enough time. Like that's my own thought.
But the deal is done now. Who is next? Who do you think is next to come on board?
Now with the news we have at hand now, I think they are going back to Portugal to pick someone.
The former Cameroonian coach,
yeah. Let's if he's being called up, we just need to support him. We don't have any choice. But the thing is, I would have advised they go back home.
But for me, I think they do not rate their home-based coaches.
That is the problem. That's the problem we have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, rather, we don't give them enough time. Okay, look at if I don't know, no one is perfect. We are just trying to take a risk. Even the Portugal coach we are going to appoint now is a risk because we are not really sure if he's going to give us the best result we wanted. But still, we should have given our own coaches enough time. Look at what happened in Senegal. They have an home-based coach there.
Yeah.
I think Cameroon has the same. Is it Cameroon or Ghana has an home-based coach?
Otuado is back.
Yeah. Cote d'Ivoire won the AFCON with an home-based coach. So what they need is give them enough time. We can't just decide because he won 2 matches, and I think NFF needs to come outside. Their media team needs to come outside to address the public. Because okay, we are appointing this person. This is the reason why we are appointing him. This is what we saw before we appointed him. Let's just support him.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Alright. That is the latest story, and according to what Wonder is saying right now, he feels like Finidi George should have been given more time. But I think I disagree. I didn't really see much from him from his 4 games that he was in charge. So I feel like he should have done better. Before you start to talk tough to the media, you should give us results. At least to an extent, Jose Pesero now can brag. A certain Genetro can brag that this was what we were able to do the times that we were in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But you just 4 matches, and out of the 4, just 1. We won just 1, and it was not even a competitive match. Not in any way trying to criticize Finidi George, but I feel like he should have done better. But away from there now, we've seen who NFF brings on board next, and we're hoping is what is best for the entire country and the entire football lovers in the country. Now we'll cross the Atlantic now and talk about one Nigerian player who is on the move, a former player that plays for Norway League before he joined CSK Moscow in Russia. He was on loan, a short loan stint at Hertha Berlin at a point when there was a war between Russia and Ukraine, and then after then he left for Royal Antwerp. He played for Royal Antwerp last season, and now he's a free transfer and he has switched to Sevilla. It's not but one man, but a dazzling winger who is skillful. You're talking dribbling, you give it to him any day, anytime. He's got quality. Naija Juke, who now signs for Sevilla. Wonder, is this a good move? And when you're talking about a player that can bring on like 2-3 players to himself, 2-3-4 players, and still get past them, create chances, you give it to Naija Juke. Chukwueze has the same similar pattern, but I think what is a little bit different from these 2 guys is the position that Chukwueze has ahead of him. And for a long period of time now, he has been away from the national team. Now he's with Sevilla. In case he does very well for himself, are we going to see him back in the Nigerian national team? And is this a good move for him, leaving the shores of Russia finally to play in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, the Spanish La Liga, with a side that has history when it comes to winning trophies? Most successful side in the Europa League, Sevilla FC. What do you make of his move to Sevilla?
Yeah, I guess it's a good one for UK because I think it's been a long time since we last saw him at the national team. I think he's been struggling recently with call-ups to the national team, and coming to Sevilla is a good one because coming to Spain is like coming to the limelight. Not even Spain, this time around, the Spanish league with the team Sevilla, and there were recent years Sevilla has been in the Europa leagues, likes of I think the Europa League, and
he also played in the
Champions League. So it's a good one. It's going to bring him back to the limelight. It's not like we've not seen him for past, so now we are going to see him in the limelight. So that we can now rate him more to see if he's what's being called up. He's a good player. I don't know if he has issues with past coaches or I don't know, but he's a good player. He's a good player at that. Because most times I watch his matches and I see, or his highlights, and I see his style of play is, I think, is a bit different and unique, I guess. So, and he's even despite wasn't a skillful player, I'm not writing anyone off that wing, but we need someone like him in the Super Eagles. But I wish him all the best in Sevilla, and it's another thing being signed to a club, and it's another thing being used.
Yeah, I think a new coach is on board now, and for that coach to bring a kind of player like him, you should know he has seen that this is the kind of player I can work with. So I'm tipping him to always get the nod, as far as the new season. It's sad that Sevilla will not be competing in any European competition. I think this will help them to focus more on the Spanish La Liga. We're hoping that Ejuke gets the better of his time with Sevilla, and wishing him all the best. This is how far we can go on this program for this week, and we'll be back here again in our next episode. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you on the next one. Do not forget to hit the like button and also subscribe, so that whenever we drop a new video, you get to see a notification. This is Joshua signing out.